The oil paint function in Photoshop is really pretty easy to do and gives really nice results. I'm surprised really that I don't see it more often, but I wanted to take you through the steps. I've already made a copy of my image here, and I'm using this picture from our collection of photographs. And leave them stacked one on top of the other. Don't spread them out like we sometimes do for our before and after. Do that after the fact. And so I've got it all set up here with them stacked right on top of each other. And the layer has to be selected and go to oil paint. It's right here. It'll take you into a separate screen where you'll see the results. Depending on where you left the settings the last time, you can see they're pretty dramatic. And depending on how you slide the little sliders here on the right, you can get a slightly different effect. And what I kind of go for is sort of a smooth look instead of a real grainy look. It would depend on the image, of course, and you can get so it's more and more sort of stylized. And there's brush detail. It'll give you a little harder edge with kind of like more shadowing, more impasto is what they call it when you're painting, a thickness of paint. And you can change all of this stuff. As you can see, it's changing on the image as I go. Okay, and shine just highlights it and gives it a real aggravated kind of a look. Okay, like a harsher light. Over here, it's almost like the brush strokes go away. Okay, so I like to see a little bit of brush stroke, at least a little bit. You may want to do more or less depending on the image that you decide you want to use here. So I'll maybe keep it right about there. Go ahead and OK that, and you'll see it apply as soon as you bring it in. A lot of these effects are, I think, designed to be used with the history brush. And so I'm going to come over here and click on my history brush. Remember, it's not the same as the art history brush. There's another brush in there that sort of mixes the image up a little bit more. This one is just to return it to its original state. Let me do that a different way. I'll just zoom in here. And you can see with this history brush that it'll bring some of the details back in where you want it, so that the eyes maybe look a little more realistic. Maybe details in the hands. And it just brings it back to where it was before. So part of the photograph is coming back in to its sort of normal state, and you can do this wherever you like. I'm just going to do a little bit on the hands and the face, and maybe this way. Okay, give it just a little bit more of a realistic look in that area. You can do it a different way. It's fine with me, however you want to do it. Now, to add a little bit of a more visual interest to this, one thing that we looked at in here was to add another layer. This is just a simple paint layer, and like we've done a million times in here, just pick a color that you like. You can also use a swatch panel if you'd rather pick it that way. And then with the paint bucket and this layer activated, you can just dump color in and then set the blending mode. Remember, we've done it this way where we just set the blending mode to something different. So you can see color coming back, kind of mixing in with the textures that you've already got there. And any of the settings that you like to use are fine here. I would say kind of go for something that's not so distorted that you absolutely can't see it. So make something that's a sort of a pleasant. Oops, and I got in the wrong deal there. See if I can get back into my layers here. I'll just bring this back up. There we go. And pick a different one. You can thumb through them and see which one you like. Some of them are pretty nice. It really is depends on your kind of your own artistic opinion. Okay, I kind of gravitate towards hue, which I think looks really good, or color, or overlay. Some of those that we've used a lot. Okay, that gives me a little bit more color. I like that. Okay, now here, if you remember, one of the things that we did with these paint layers is you can either mask them, which works really well, or you can simply erase through the color with your eraser. Use a soft eraser, and you can erase some of the color back out. You can use a eraser that's set for a low opacity, so that when it erases very slowly, and you can build it up kind of slowly like that. So now I've got both the texture and the colors kind of erasing away. It's really pretty nice what some of the things you can do with that. Okay, so what I've got basically here is just a layer that is set for color in my blending mode, and just erased away. You can see kind of how that's working like that. Okay, so once you get, and I'll go ahead and save this and put this over in my folder. And I'll call this oil paint. Okay. And remember, the color is just there as a kind of an extra add-on. It looks pretty good without the color too, doesn't it? Okay. And then I'll bring the layers out side by side. Remember, we do that with the crop tool. Might want to default your colors just so they come out with a white background. Remember, the white background is added when your base layer is locked and this option up at the top here is selected. And otherwise you can add the background color in later. I'll commit to that. Also, remember too that we have two layers that we're trying to move over. We've got two layers that we're trying to move to the right. Be sure that they are both selected as you make your move so that they don't pull apart. If you do that incorrectly, it could look like this. It could just move the color, or it could just move the layer by itself, and now you see that they're out of arrangement with each other. Be sure they're both selected. Use the Shift key as you move that over, and they should stay together. Okay, do always make sure that your after image is on the right. A few of you last time turned in files where the after is on the left. That's really not how we see before and after images, is it? Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more of the frame around here to the left side. Looks like it's a little skinny over there. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more over here until it looks kind of even, and I'll commit to that. As always, we want to name our layer. This is paint, set to color, and this is our oil paint effect, filter. It's actually called a filter, isn't it? Let's be accurate with our layer naming. Now you'll also want to maybe at this point unlock the background so you can name it as well. This is your original image. Okay, then go back to the top layer before you add your type. As you add the type, you can click to add type here. If the type's not big enough, Remember, you can use the type tool to select and change it up here, or another way to do it is to turn on your show transform controls with the move tool and just scale it up. Always hold the shift key when you do that. Okay, and that's a commit. When I do it that way, I usually then hold the option key down and drag this one over. That way I know that both the type sizes are going to be the same. You just have to go back in, triple click here, and change this one to oil paint with color overlay. How about overlay is the name of that other blending mode. I'll call this one with color blend. Turn off the show transform controls. You type an F key to go to a different view. You can get to this all black view here. Bring it up, take a good look at it, see if there's anything else that you need to do. Type an F key again, double check your layers to make sure they're all done correctly, and if so, go ahead and make that last save. And that's how we did the oil paint.